at the end of the day, it's beyond X's and O's. Because Connor's so talented, Justin Gaethje's so talented, Francis Ngannou's so talented, Sean Strickland's so talented with Nick Sick. France is super talented. Poetan with his guy talented. GSP's talented as all get out. So they could really walk into any gym in the world and they're still going to be awesome. Will they reach the peak greatness? I don't know. But the reason why John and Connor and Trevor and Justin and all these guys, because even if they're similar in age, they're mentors, and it's not about X's and O's. It's not about breaking down the fight and watching film. That's a given. Any coach in the world that you're connected to does that. But these guys have these leaders, these mentors in their life where they can open up to and they understand exactly what they're going through. And that's what makes these tandems, these duos so great together. And when that bond's that strong, they're almost unstoppable when they get to their rise. And when you have that talent and you have a coach, quote unquote coach, friend who actually cares about their fighter beyond just winning, but they actually have that bond. It's like Avatar, right? Where they connect their bullshit ponytail to the horse and they connect and they vibe off each other and they're connected by that. That's what this is. That's when we get greatness. That's when we get generational talent. That's when we get dominant champions. It's not the X's and O's. It's that these guys can connect to these fighters and speak to them and connect with them. They understand what they're going through. The X's and O's, anyway, there's a million guys who can teach that. A million guys. It's beyond that. It's the mental. It's the mental side of things. It's the friendship side. It's the brotherhood. That's what it is. That's what makes these duos so great. The coach is great. The fighter's great. It's that connection. And boys, that connection between John and Connor, freaking tight, man. Tight. Because they were asking him, man, after all he's been through, with, the downs and the ups, especially the downs, you stood by him. I love it. John goes, I'm sorry. That's my friend. What'd you expect me to do? That's my friend. I also know things you guys don't know. The media will portray things like this, but this is actually what happened. I have deep, long conversation with Connor, not for the media, not to sell tickets, not to sell T-shirts, not to sell whiskey, not to sell cigars, not to promote the gym, not to promote the UFC. Actual, genuine conversations about what the hell is going on. Not with his lawyers, not with other people in front of his wife. Me and him connected on a deep level. I know Connor. I know exactly what happened. He's my friend. That's why I stick by him. Boom. I hear that. I'm like, that's the guy. That's the guy. Your friends are going to go through some shit. Maybe not to the level of what Connor, hopefully, God willing, that doesn't happen. But if shit does hit the fan, you want a friend like that. You want a friend like that. I've been through it. Callen went through his shit. D'Elia went through his shit. I can't believe you stood next to Callen. I'm sorry. You never had a friend go through some shit? No? What should I do? I've known him 20 years now. Both of them. I should walk away. Yeah, man, you can't be associated with that. Hold on, you talking about the guy I've known, like my brother, 15 years? What the fuck you talking about? Cowards. Yeah, but the media said this. They don't know shit. Of course, they get views. They want views. They want to tear guys down. What do you expect them to do? What the fuck you expect them to do? We got to make picks today, too, Chin. It's Thursday, baby. Let's do it.
Brendan Schaub almost cried talking about the allegations against Bryan Callen and Chris D'Elia. First, he started talking about Conor McGregor. The revisionist history Schaub is trying to do. You're going to stick by my boys. Those are my friends. when D'Elia was first accused, him and Callen immediately threw D'Elia under the bus and claimed they hardly ever hung out with the guy. Don't even know him that well. And then when Callen was accused, Schaub threw him off the podcast and did the podcast with Malik and Chappelle. Lacey, what the fuck is he talking about? Stuck by. No, this is what happened. When his boys got accused, Schaub, just like everybody else in the Rogan sphere, immediately threw them under the bus. And then as Schaub's career completely tanked because of himself, then he had to go back to D'Elia and to Callen. That's what happened. Theo Von left. That's why Schaub went with D'Elia. The Fighter and the Kids podcast failed. That's why Schaub went back to Callen. It wasn't because of some loyalty or anything. It was because this dummy literally had nothing. And he still has nothing. He ended up in a fucking storage unit in Texas that's overheating. And he looks like an idiot. It's the revisionist history this douchebag tries to do. I wonder if he believes it in his own mind, too. He probably does. He's probably like, yep, stuck by D'Elia and Callen. I mean, when, D'Elia got accused and we said we hardly knew thee. Then when Callen got accused and I threw him off the show and cut any association and stopped doing stand-up with him. Because remember, they used to do stand-up together. Not when he got accused and threw him off the show. And in order to get Callen back, he had to bump up Callen's pay. We know from Malik B., who recently revealed that when Callen got thrown off of the podcast, he told Malik B. he was making $15,000 a month. Schaub had to bump that up to $25,000 a month. Because remember, when Callen got thrown off the podcast, he hooked up with Tripoli, and they were doing that Conspiracy Social Club Deep Waters podcast that was behind a paywall, but it was actually successful. So Schaub had to bump up Callen's pay in order to get Callen to even come back. But Schaub immediately threw them under the bus the second they were accused. Of course he did, sitting there in his short shorts and his redacted Dodgers hat. Ugh, so disgusting. Look at that couch. Look at his chair. I got a nicotine pouch juice in it. Ugh. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.